second games of Summer League. We'll be back with the opening tip in just a moment.
I'm Shane Gillis, and on July 16th, I'm hosting the 2025 ESPYs.
Pronunciation of his name, get it real authentic, and there's a look at the respective starting lineups. Etienne, Danny Wolf, a versatile big, Drew Timme, a vet, TJ Bamba Carrington, one of the headliners amongst the Washington team that has a good number of their regular players here.
They do, and I'll tell you what, right off the bat, Jonesy, one of the things I'll be looking at here early, TJ Bamba guarding Trey Johnson. TJ Bamba is an all-conference defensive player, and he is very physical at guard. I would imagine he's going to get some of the assignments, certainly on Trey Johnson, if not the majority.
Timme and Sarr tip it up. Last time we saw Alex Sarr, he was able to convert on the first possession of the game off of a lob pass. This time they come the other way to Carrington. 10 on the shot clock. And there's going to be a turnover and a violation against the Wizards.
Like a moving screen there. They were trying to run Trey Johnson off the stagger from the left side along the baseline out to the right wing, but you had too much movement in the lane there on that screen.
Tyson Etienne bringing it up court for the Nets. Here's Timme. Etienne tried to turn the corner. Got fouled on the play. That's going to go against Trey Johnson. We talked so much about his offense just a moment ago. What do you think he looked at the defensive end in his debut we saw?
Yeah, I think that was the big challenge coming in, and they said they were going to challenge him in that regard. And that means really in a setting like this, as much as you can, get out, pressure the ball, fight over the top of screens, don't lay on screens, don't be late. Early anticipation. I think I saw a lot of really nice things out of him in that first game for a guy that's really coming into the league as a known commodity as a scorer.
Demon knocks down the three. He wasn't a great three-point shooter at BYU, just 27%. But he had a good look and made good use of it there.
Yeah, he's got really good size, so he's going to be able to get that shot off against a lot of guys, off the dribble or off the catch. That time, really got his feet set, and that ball came off his fingertips nicely.
There's George. He had a good first game for Washington. Slot cut comes off to Johnson outside. Pulls a deep three, no problem. Off the loose ball. Man, he's got a pretty looking jumper, Tim.
Yeah, it's like I said, everything about him is at the same pace offensively. It's at his pace. It's just very rare for a young player to not feel rushed. Nothing he does feels that way.
TJ Bamba out to the wing. Drummond has that three ball come off. Brooklyn is going to try and play extremely fast, as is usually the one of second-year head coach Jordy Fernandez. There's Deontay George off the mark.
And, you know, I like that pass by Sarr. Look, you got an open corner three, but I also think he had a great opportunity to catch that on a roll at 7 feet and get that to the rim.
Boy, that's a great pass by Drummond. Timme tries another one. That one falls.
Coming off that strong opener with 22 points. He's got a lot of seasoning on him. He's been around a while.
Spent a little bit of time last year with the Stockton Kings, Sacramento Kings as well.
Some of these young guys probably call him Pops, I would imagine.
OG.
That's it.
Timmy. Wow, great move underneath on the reverse. Carrington misfiring at the other end. Nice hesitation, a better block by Alex Sarr. He stepped out of bounds.
Well, we're only a little over 2 minutes into this game, and I already like the activity level of Alex Sarr much better than the first half of game one. When you and I were both kind of scratching our heads like, wait, this is the guy who's number 2 pick in the draft. He very quiet, much better second half on Friday, but already you can see him trying to get involved, be active, be aggressive.
Threw Timmy out top. Etienne comes off bomb by Etienne with another look. Timmy chased it down out of bounds. Great hustle. It'll stay Brooklyn Nets basketball. And now they'll change it.
I believe they said Timmy was already on the line when he tried to save that. Think about Drew Timmy. He's just, he's not going to overwhelm you athletically, but he is just a very smart, sound basketball player. He doesn't have any weaknesses.
Trey Johnson raising up, man. He looked every bit like one of his NBA comps, Bradley Beal, on that shot.
Coming off the DHO, and you see the elevation on that jump shot.
5 quick points of the ball game for Trey Johnson, who is an extremely huge workaholic. Will Dawkins, who's going to join us a little bit later, the general manager for Washington, went to work him out in Austin, Texas, got to the gym at 7:15, and Johnson had already had a lather, an hour's worth of sweat. Jumpman. Timmy tries another three, and Sarr with the rebound. Alex Sarr leading the break against Danny Wolf into a crowd. And Yegor Jumpman. Timmy filling the lane, count it.
Well, that was a nice move by Alex Sarr. He just got his feet tangled up a little bit, but again, I like the fact he's trying to get involved early, and the awkward shot in the paint led to a run out. Timmy, nice job filling the lane.
He scored the last 7 in the ball game today. Johnson off the bounce. A contested three comes off. And here's Danny Wolf. Keep an eye on Danny Wolf, an extremely talented and skilled 6'11" transfer from Yale, went to Michigan, where he finished off his career. But they kind of see him as being able to be a hub at some point.
Definitely. You're going to see out of him today very good offensive rebounder and great hands on the rolls, the short rolls particularly. His ability to pick it up off the pocket pass, and he's got that soft touch coming out of that to get it to the rim. He's definitely a guy that's, with his skill level, you're going to find your way onto the floor.
Sarr raises up and rebounded by Wolf. Jumpman into the front court. Off the drag screen by Timmy. And he's now 2 of 3 from deep. And Tim, you're a shooter. You know better than anybody. You look pretty comfortable shooting.
Oh, no doubt about it. He got that ball screen, came off, set those feet, and drained it. But here's Drew Timmy off to a great start, trying to follow up a beautiful Friday night.
NBA 2K26 Summer League is proudly sponsored by NBA 2K26. Rated E for everyone.
This melty white American cheese is the luckiest cheese alive. It gets to smother a quarter pound of rich steak to create Arby's cheesesteak. Sorry, other cheese. Arby's, we have the meats.
Limu Limo at your service. Here to help you save hundreds by customizing your car insurance with Liberty Mutual. Probably should have gone the other way.
Only pay for
ESPN and the app. NBA TV tomorrow, Atlanta, Houston at 4:30. Charlotte, Dallas at 6:30. Utah, San Antonio at 8:30. And then the nightcap has the Clippers and the Lakers at 10:30. Sarr fakes the DHO on the keep action. Left it a little bit short. Nets coming back the other way. Traore in the ball game. Timmy inside and has it batted away. It'll stay at this end. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Yeah, I think he'd like to have that one back because he did the hard part. He got into the paint, little head fake. Defender was in the air. I think he easily could have gone ahead, gone through the chest, and gotten himself to the foul line. Didn't really feel comfortable where he was on the floor, so instead tries the kick-out pass.
Wolf ripped through. Good defense by George. And that one rims out. Johnson working against Denman. Man, wow, easy, light work. Light work.
I mean, he
Tim.
looks like he's out there in the gym all alone. That's exactly what you're talking about. I mean, those are the kind of little drills you do pregame when you're just out here warming up. That was an easy back and forth handle. Set his man up, got him off balance, knew exactly where he wanted to go the entire time. Get to about 10 feet for a little push shot, which is not an easy shot from that distance.
He scored all of Washington's points so far. Wolf out top. Now this is what they kind of envision using Wolf like, kind of like how Sacramento used Sabonis when Jordi Fernandez was running the offense there. Demon has it come off. Nice hezzy by George, and Sarr with the follow.
Nice job. The penetration creates that. Anytime you collapse the defense, you get multiple guys flooding to the ball. There's always going to be a weak side rebounding opportunity.
That wing three is short. Another opportunity. And the second one good by TJ Bamba.
And Nets coaching staff said, look, his ability to shoot the three, particularly those corner threes, is going to determine his future in the league because defensively, he's going to be able to get it done immediately. So can he make enough shots to stay on the floor?
Well, a little bit too late that time on Trey Johnson, who is on fish grease alert right now, as hot as he is. 10 already, Tim.
I mean, he's done it all. He's put it down, gotten to the rim. He's got a pull-up floater, and now the three off the dribble.
They said he was the best shooter in the draft. He's proven that to be true right now. Good pass that time, too, to George. Sarr with a foul and one. Count it.
Nets having some problems right now dealing with Alex Sarr's length. You got Wolf and Timmy out there. Both guys really solid positional defenders, but the length and athletic ability of Alex Sarr is a problem. Timmy got caught on the wrong side of the basket there after that closeout by Wolf. There was nobody back there for Sarr except a couple of guards. That was easy work for him.
Alex Sarr had a strong second half of the season, in particular after the All-Star break, on his way to first-team All-Rookie. You know what I'm most happiest about right now? That J.J. Outlaw, during that substitution, left Trey Johnson on the floor.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
And that's going to be a carrying violation.
And only for another possession. Here he goes.
Darden. Trey Johnson leaves the ball game 4-5 from the field. 2 of 3 from deep. 10 points in about 6 minutes.
You know, look, guys can work on their handle. They can work on their step back. They can work on a lot of things to try to create space for themselves. One thing that is difficult to replicate on your own, if you don't have an innate sense of being able to change pace, change gears to keep guys off balance. That's a very difficult thing to acquire. Some guys just never feel comfortable playing slower at times. That's what Trey Johnson does to set you up, and then he's got the burst to get into his own shot.
Carrington sprints into the DHO. Swarmed off of Sarr. One more. A.J. Johnson got tripped up by Etienne. Maintained his balance long enough to get the shot up on the glass.
I remember on Friday night, A.J. Johnson, and he put his chin on the rim on that one breakaway. One of the best dunks we saw of the opening weekend.
A.J. Johnson, erstwhile of the Milwaukee Bucks at the free throw line for the Wizards right now. Knocks down the first. Tied at 16. Washington lost their opener a couple of nights ago, as did Brooklyn. All teams will play 5 games here during Summer League. And we'll have the championship game on the 20th on ESPN. Johnson knocks down the second. And Washington on an 8-0 run.
And a couple other of those young guards on the floor now. Ben Sharaf, as well as Nolan Traore. Really intrigued by Traore.
Timmy with the 3 ball. Here's Bub Carrington. Sarr slips out. Count it and 1. Alex Sarr will go to the free throw line trying to complete the 3-point play. Much more engaged this time around, too.
No doubt. He's finding himself with a lot of space on these rolls to the rim. Alex Sarr with a great start.
Where some saw a pickle, we saw a masterpiece. A Sonic Smasher with Grillo's Pickles and Dilly Ranch, tangy pickle tots, and a Pickle Rita slush with pickle-flavored bubbles. It's called the Big Dill Meal, and it's a work of art.
Your cheeseburger deserves a nice big slice of our Sargento family legacy.
Where is he going under? Where is he going under? If we make their 5s go one-on-1, we did a good job. If they go get one-on-1 against you, we did a good job. We play good defense. We just need to not let them easy buckets. All of the buckets were because of our mistakes, I feel like.
Well, he might just be 19 years old, but he's already over there talking. Why are they going under on me?
Yeah.
I know they got cable TV.
Yeah,
They've seen some things. I love it. I love the confidence. And he's right. More and more people are going to start fighting over the top or getting hard hedges from the big if he continues to shoot the ball like that coming off ball screens.
Like I said earlier, only shot it at a 27% rate at BYU in his one-and-done season, but knocked down 2 already. Sharaf at the free throw line, meanwhile, for Brooklyn, one of 4 first-round picks playing today. Sharaf actually reached the Bundesliga finals in the German league in his lone season with Ulm, averaged about 13 points a game. Heavy international flavor on this Brooklyn squad. Knocks down the second. And Johnson looking a little bit of full court pressure up to Watkins now. .com/NBA Cup to learn more. Watkins makes 2. And he commits the foul against Traore. I was speaking with,
I like him, Johnson. Yeah. He's got a nice shiftiness to his game. His quickness right now, Brooklyn coaching staff feels like is his main calling card. That's going to be able to help him escape some bad situations. He can get away from pressure, he can get away from traffic, and he changes speeds nicely, and he's got nice size for a lead guard.
Whistling a foul on Black from behind. Yeah, getting back to Traore. Well, speaking with Corey Vinson, one of the assistant coaches for Brooklyn, whose dad, Fred Vinson, is an assistant coach with Detroit, one of the best shooting coaches in the world. He says that Traore could fill a De'Aaron Fox type role for Brooklyn. You mentioned his speed.
Well, that's high praise.
Yeah.
Right there. You're talking about one of the quickest guards in the league, and one of the quickest to stop on a dime for that pull-up, too. So if they think that that is a guy that they can use for him to try to emulate, I love it.
Traore out of San Quentin, France, 6'3", 19 years old. Another one of those very talented players out of France who continue to make their way to the NBA. Sharaf turns the corner. Wolf rolls out of the screen. Sharaf, nice bag work there, Tim.
Really nice.
Good cross.
Absolutely. He got that cross underneath, you know, an extended hand defensively, really low and tight, and then able to just get into that pretty easy pull-up.
A.J. Johnson at the other end. One more look here.
This is nice. You'll see right there to reach. He goes underneath the hand, and he, you know, he knew all along where he wanted to go. A lefty, more often than not, is going to love going to his right for that little sidestep pull-up.
Roth pretty shifty. Nice spin, and he draws the foul from Watkins.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that spin, because you're going to see, like, there's going to be a lot of guards he's going to face in the league, Sharaf, that are going to be quicker. They're going to beat him from point A to point B and turn him. So the best way to have ball security is to master that spin. Tight, quick, hard spin is you're going to keep that defender now on your back, and it's a better way to protect the basketball than playing with it on a crossover or going between your legs as you're advancing it up the court. I think every young guard should develop a really tight spin move.
Etienne from deep drills that one, and Brooklyn leading 36-28. Here's Keontae George. A little bit quiet in comparison to the opener. Little front back cross and drills the three ball. George, 1 of 6 now. Pardon me, 1 of 5. Off the elbow, ball knocked away by Watkins. Great defense, goes 1 against 2, and fouled by Sharaf.
That was a situation where Nelson was caught in a tough situation. He was trying to do a little toss back or a dribble handoff, but there was 4 or 5 feet of space between he and Sharaf, and that's how a defender is able to get in there and poke it away, and now you get transition opportunity to go in the other way. See, right, that's just too far away to try to make that play with the defender basically right on Sharaf's hip. So if you're Nelson, at that and he'll learn from this, he's a young player. In that situation, you pick that thing up above your head, that's going to tell Sharaf to clear out. And now you can turn and look at the other side of the floor to go find somebody and probably go hit them with a ball screen.
Watkins at the free throw line. He had 2 30-point games in the calendar year of 2024. Had 34 against Virginia Tech, a 30-piece against Rice. The second team All-ACC last season, the 43rd pick overall. Watkins, a 75% free throw shooter on the season. Knocks down the second. The lead is down to 4, and a little full court pressure here for Drummond. Nice little hezzy. Sprays to the wing. That one a little bit strong by Davis. Trey Johnson back in the ball game, over to Riley. Boy, Trey Johnson finds the open man quickly, Tim.
Yeah, both of those guys, they've got to be thrilled with the talent that they've injected into this organization, because Will Riley's going to be a really good player for them. And right there, Trey Johnson showing you he's more than just a scorer. That's a really nice find with his left hand.
Great pocket pass. And a body caught underneath. Drew Timme said this with his chest.
Well, listen, he understood when he got that ball in that hard roll. That's Alex Sark coming over there. If you go for a flip shot over the front of the rim or something that's going to be a little bit softer, Alex Sark is probably going to put that in the third row. So he knew with him closing hard on that right side, you had no choice but to try to dunk that. He's able to beat him to the spot.
Timme completes the three-point play. He's got 13 in the game. Sarr looking for his lick back right here. Couldn't get it. Ball comes out right to Watkins. 3. Sarr chasing down the loose ball. Watkins. Sarr elevates. Back at you.
Well, he created all of that. He ran down the offensive rebound. The great save over his head. So it was, I think, just that he was rewarded on that. But, man, did he take off from a long way. He was halfway to the corner when he caught that basketball and powers it through. So this is all after that offensive rebound. This is without a dribble. Alex Sarr showing you why he was the second pick in the draft a year ago.
Let me see you do a dance, let me see you twirl.
To make sure that we draft people before players, and when you put him through the ringer. He spent some time in my house with my family and really got to get behind the scenes on that, and you just learn how intentional he is, how focused he is, how much of a true basketball player he is. We were sitting there talking about the WNBA action that happened in the Mystics game. He was like, yeah, I saw that.
Wow.
And so, like, he watches all kind of basketball. He's just
junkie.
a hoops junkie for sure.
So, look, a lot of these young guys, you know, it's going to be a process in their development, but I mean, it looks to us like he's going to be able to score now at the NBA level. So is there a plan in place in terms of how you think you're going to utilize him when the season begins?
Yeah, I think a lot of our guys, when our fans are watching, they're seeing the 19-year-olds on the court right now. So we're not going to rush it. But with him, we're definitely going to put the ball in his hands, put him off a lot of different screening actions, and just give him an opportunity to go out there and compete. And with Trey, he showed last year at Texas the ability to score with the ball in the hands, but also without. And he'll have a little bit more talent and more spacing, so we think we can open that up for him.
Will he be able to handle those responsibilities at the defensive end, you think, too?
Yeah, already.
Having a primary role?
Yeah, already, obviously, the defense will take second to come to fruition, but for him, he's competing. You go back and you watch his high school stuff, his AAU stuff. He was better on that end of the floor, and he knows that's an area where he's going to have to pick it up, but he's a basketball player and he cares. So he'll get better, just like our rookies did last year.
Yeah. And he was a 6th pick this year. You had a guy that was taking 4 spots higher a year ago.
Yes.
Alex Sarr, who ended up second half of the season. You had to be thrilled with his development, first team all-rookie. Tell us what you've seen in him and his growth and where has he improved and where do you still want to see him improve?
Yeah, I think what people realize with Alex, he's just a basketball player. He's someone who you can put in different situations offensively, defensively, protects the rim, can switch and guard. He's someone that the second half of the year really turned it on offensively and was able to kind of improve making shots and also playmaking.
Got a timeout on the floor. We're going to ask you to stick around for a commercial, Will.
Perfect.
And we'll talk with you a little bit more on the other side. Timeout. Back to Las Vegas after this.
This melty white American cheese is the luckiest cheese alive. It gets
Nets basketball. We're joined by Will Dawkins, general manager of the Wizards. Will, we were talking about Alex Sarr and just his learning curve and where he might be on it right now and how that ties into your expectations for him this year.
I think you could see physically what he'd done this summer, just looking at his body. That was the most important thing for him. He's someone that came back early May and has been in the United States working the entire time with us. So working on his game, working on his physicality. He's someone who we think has a high chance to affect both sides of the floor, and I think he's showing that today.
Well, let's just keep it going. You've got a plethora of first-round picks out here.
This is true.
Some from this year, some from a year ago. Let's go with Bob Carrington and talk about the year he had. Same question that I had with Alex. What do you like? What have you seen, and where do you want to see growth?
I think for Bub to be where he was at, going into Pittsburgh in 1 year, being one and done, finding a way to be second-team all-rookie, was impressive, and I think the reason why he did it was because he's consistent every single day. He's one of the only rookies that played 82 games last year and competed on the floor, and he's someone that physically is growing and mentally as a point guard, as a two guard, just learning how to help the team. So with Bub, he's a consistent everyday guy, and that's what we appreciate about him.
We had your opening round game here in Las Vegas, and Keyshawn George shot the ball pretty well that night, and he's got it right here. What do you look to see from him both here and moving forward this year?
Yeah, I'd say Keith might have had the best summer so far of our guys, just in terms of physicality and confidence that he's put into his game. He's someone that we envision playing on the ball. The second half of the season, much like Alex, he really turned it on and was able to find his confidence. And as confident as I am on the offensive end, for him by the end of the season to become one of the better defenders and lead the rookies in steals, that means that he's having an impact on both sides of the floor. So we're really excited to have him, but he's become more confident on the offensive end.
The guy I've really liked so far, basically a game and a little less than a half here is Will Riley. I mean, he just looks like he's got tremendous instincts for what he's doing offensively and really good size as well. And he doesn't have some of the, the recognition and height maybe of some of the other first-round picks we're talking about on your roster, but you have to be pleased.
Right on cue, he gets the steal.
There you go.
But I would say with Will, we were very fortunate. Our grassroots guys, they do a great job of seeing them early. And when Will was playing with Team Canada, when he's playing EYBL, he had the ball in his hands, and you could see him create. And once Illinois had those injuries midway through the season, they kind of put the ball in his hands, and you got to see him attack and grow. And he shot and made more plays the second half of the season. So he's someone as well that is still growing, is still young. His growth plates are still open. The future's pretty bright for him.
When you look at as many young players as you have on the roster, Will, and a little bit of a reset and rebuild right now, what kind of definitive culture do you think that y'all have established right now?
Yeah, I think we're still trying to figure that out. Okay. We're trying to be a repetitive environment every single day that's hardworking and disciplined and gets better each day by day. And I think it's important to surround these young, talented players with veterans like Marcus Smart, like Chris Middleton, like a CJ McCollum, a Corey Kispert. Like, these guys are able to blend. Those are still high-level players who can get their way on the floor, but also can be in the locker room and mentor them through that piece. And being able to bring back a connector like Marvin Bagley in the locker room is pretty happy for all of our guys.
In general, for this team this year, defining success is different for everybody. What metrics do you want to see improvement? I'm guessing you're going to say something defensively,
right
but
away,
specifically how?
Specifically, having a little bit more force, having a little bit more physicality, defensively being in those shell spots, charting how much we're in the right situation, not dependent upon the outcome, but how many times are we there to make the right play. And then we have to be better on defensive glass. There's no doubt about it. I think offensively you'll see a team that moves the ball and shares it, but there's got to be a defensive toughness and a grit that you feel every time you play us. That's the goal to start the season.
Tim asked you about expectations in an Eastern Conference that appears to be rife with tangible opportunity. Is there a thinking that you might be in the picture at some point in early April?
I think the goal is to win each day.
Right.
And for us, we know what the future holds, and we know how we want to get there, but we don't want to skip steps. So take it game by game, and that's the mentality that these young players have got to have. There's going to be those wow moments both ways, highs and lows, and I think if we are able to put it together, we'll be on the right path. Will,
we want to thank you a lot for joining us, and we enjoyed watching your team so far in a game and a half, especially that guy, Trey Johnson. Ask JJ not to take him out of the ball.
I got it. I'll talk to him at halftime. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man.
Trey Johnson will go back to the free throw line. Will Dawkins, the general manager of the Washington Wizards. JJ Outlaw's the Summer League head coach for the Wizards as Trey Johnson misses the free throw. He's 87% free throw shooter. It was interesting to hear Will say that his #1 pick, his top pick, was a real hoop head. You know, watches all kinds of basketball, not just NBA, not just, watches college, all sorts. That resonates with a lot of front office people, doesn't it?
No doubt about it. And some guys can talk about it, but it's it once you get him in-house and you can really see it. You can get a feel for talking to a guy. Does he have point of reference for like the history of the game, and things like that? And I think that's what you want to see. And then you get him in-house, you want to see, are they really showing up and putting the work in? And I know that Trey Johnson has been.
Here's A.J. Johnson, no relation. That's going to be a kick ball. We saw a nice block a moment ago by Alex Sarn. That speaks to the type of quote-unquote force that Will Dawkins mentioned he'd like to see his team play with at the defensive end. What defensively would you like to see better out of them next year?
I think when I would watch them last year, I think one of the things that stood out to me, this was not a good team in defensive transition. They were a little bit loose, not focused on having multiple guys in dead sprint mode. And those first 2 or 3 strides, a little bit lax in that regard. That's half the battle, Jonesy. You got to make teams play against a half-court defense, and I don't think they did a very good job of that a year ago.
Put your head down and sprint back. Sharaf for 3, left it short. And A.J. Johnson with the rake and take. A.J. Outlaw makes the call. We got a whistle and a foul on the sideline against the Nets.
We talked about all these first-round picks from last year, a bunch this year. A.J. Johnson's another one of those guys. He was a first-round pick a year ago. Came in the trade with Chris Middleton, and he's another guy that has first-round talent that you're now going to incorporate into your lineup. So they're young, a lot of moving parts, but a lot of athletic ability and a lot of talent to work with for Brian Keefe.
Nice rip through by Timmy. Man, he's had some great finishes here tonight. He's got 17. Sarr fouled by Wolf. He'll get a couple of free throws. Look at Timmy here.
Yeah, look, he's a guy that has so much experience that he never releases the ball until he's ready. I mean, even a shot like that, he's off balance. You know, he continued to stay focused on the rim as he was falling to the ground to make sure he got something up there that had a chance. He just has a different maturity level about him, as he should. It did feel like, I think at one point for a lot of people watching, he was in college for about 19 years. It felt like, I just kept saying to myself, Drew Timmy's still playing there?
The super senior, super
and
duper.
Look, he needed to do that. He wanted to do that. And it's paid off for him, because now, you know, particularly in this setting, like, you got that kind of experience, you got that kind of, you know, grown man body that you've been able to develop.
He's still only 24.
Exactly. And he's still 24, but he's 5 years older than some of his teammates. So he's going to stand out in that regard, just in terms of his composure.
Here's Sharaf. Back out to Traore. Here's the step up by Timmy. Jumpman makes the back cut and got peeled clean. Bub Carrington on the steal. And Bub will pull it out. Nice pocket pass to Sarr. And Sarr couldn't finish.
I like the way he's played today, though. He's got intent when he's rolling to go finish. He wasn't doing that the first half on Friday night, so his mentality's been a lot different, and I'm sure they watched that film from Friday night, and that, you know, this is a guy that was first-team all-rookie. He should be out here doing damage and have the mindset to do damage. You've seen that in the first half.
Keyshawn George going to get hit with the double. Gets it out to Trey Johnson. That's the great release valve. He's got 12 after that one.
That was Carrington.
Pardon me, that's Bub. Standing right beside him.
That Trey was right next to him.
Yep.
Carrington can flat out light it up, too. He's streaky with his perimeter shooting, but he's a guy that strings together buckets.
So with 5.6 to go in the first half, A.J. Outlaw will make a couple of substitutions. Johnson and Johnson will come out. A.J. and Trey. Wizards with a nice little push here to end the first half. Carrington completes the three-point play, not at 50. He's got 8. Sharaf with a head of steam. Lost it. George. And that's the end of the first half.
We head to halftime, even at 50. Drew Timme doing his thing once again after a strong 22-point game on Friday. Follows it up with 17 here in the first half over Alex Sarr. But Sarr gets his revenge. All knotted up. pick in the draft had something to do with that, and recently our Dave McMenamin sat down with the first rounder.
Here with Brooklyn Nets rookie Yegor Giomin. Did I get it right?
Yep.
Excellent. I'm glad that I did. What was basketball like in your home country of Russia?
Well, obviously, the last time I played in the Russian team, it was me before being 15-year-old, so I was pretty young, kid. Obviously not as professional as it's here and in Europe and BYU. It was more of a fun and really a lot of learning, trying, making mistakes and learn on them.
You played at BYU for Kevin Young, who has NBA coaching experience. What about your time with BYU and Coach Young got you prepared for this?
That was an amazing time. The year at BYU was really, really special to me, and I got so much friends. We still contacting each other and we're talking. So the BYU season was amazing, and I definitely going to remember it for a long time.
Who are some of the players that you think your game resembles?
It's hard for me to compare myself to anybody. In NBA, obviously everybody's unique.
Yeah.
It's I don't believe in comparisons.
Okay.
And I believe in learning from different players what you want to get, right? And copying people, which I think copying is the way to learn.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So for me, I have guys like Luka, Shea, Kate Cunningham, Franz Wagner, Danny Avdija. I'm pretty sure he was in the game.
He was here, yeah.
So for me, those guys as a base of the players that I learned from, that I'm trying to take pieces from and build something on my own.
That's very smart. So here's a different comparison question. When you compare the player you are now and we go 10 years down the line, what does your ideal career look like? What will you have done 10 years in the NBA to establish yourself in your NBA career?
I'm trying to stay present. I'm not trying to think ahead, especially that much.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think it's the right way of approaching it. So I'm really trying to stay where I'm at and trying to see what can I do today? How can I get 1% better today?
Where you're at as a rookie with the Brooklyn Nets, which is a pretty big accomplishment in itself. Appreciate your time, Yegor.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Look at that hottie, the Takis Fuego meal. Wendy's spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis chips and Fuego fries inspired by Takis. So Takis fans, you're welcome. And new Takis fans, good luck. For an intense new take on Takis, gotta be Wendy's.
At Ace, however you grill, we've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Limu Limo at your service. Here to help you save hundreds.
That's a basketball. Hey, matchups. Oh! Stay down. Hey, great job. Hey, let's get back. Come on, let's get back. Let's get back to the defense. Come on. Hey, let's play the basketball, not one-on-one. It's basketball. Let's go.
And welcome back, everyone, to the NBA 2K26 Summer League. Here from Thomas and Mack in Las Vegas. Mark Jones courtside along with Tim Legler, Katie George joining us in just a moment. Those were the passionate intonations of that young man. Forget about the spelling on the back of the jersey, folks. The pronunciation is Tyomin. Yegor Tyomin from Russia. Played last year at BYU and got out of the gate quickly with a couple of threes here to start the game. Now to start the third quarter, Brooklyn off the miss in transition. It's George. One more to the corner, Riley, and got an auspicious bounce.
Yeah, you know that thing is soft when you get a bounce like that. That was really nice ball movement. Got the secondary break and then one more swing pass to the corner. Unselfishness pays off.
Danny Wolf with the miss. There's Bub Carrington. Sarr slides out, kicks it. Riley, great ball movement. One more to the corner, but Trey Johnson walked with it. Trey Johnson shot the ball extremely well in that first half. 10 points for the Wizards, 4 of 7 from the field. Had a chance to speak with Trey a little bit at halftime. He said, growing up, I asked him who he'd like to watch. He said, growing up, I watched a lot of KD and Booker. Interesting. And that's going to be a foul against George. Sideline out of bounds. They are really putting a lot of ball pressure on Tillman.
Well, you know he's going to see a lot of that. That's the number one thing they're going to do to him early on. Particularly in this setting when you can be a little bit more aggressive and physical. You got 10 fouls that you can commit, so you're going to get up and you're going to use them. And that's how he's going to be challenged more than any other way early on.
Here's George. Rebounded by Timmy. Tillman into the front court. Pass intended for Danny Wolf, deflected into the backcourt. 10 on the shot clock. Etienne. Tillman. That one halfway down and out. Carrington off the dribble, 3 is good.
Yeah, like I said, he can heat up. I mean, he's streaky, but he absolutely is going to be hunting his looks in transition. If you don't stop ball, Carrington loves that walk-up 3.
I tell you what, Carrington smells blood at the defensive end against Tillman. You can tell, Tim, you played, when a guy thinks that, oh, I got him defensively, I'm going to peel him at least once before this night is over.
Well, you could definitely tell the first time you go and try to turn a guy and you see how quickly he reacts to it, it gives you a sense. It's almost like a fighter coming out, right? Throwing a couple of jabs to see how he's going to defend it. And there's no doubt. So Joman's going to be challenged every single night in this league.
Carrington a little shaken up. Got a timeout and come right back after this.
Domino's Best Deal Ever is back because we know you love to get the most out of your pizza by getting the most on your pizza. Get any hand-tossed pan, thin crust, or New York-style pizza with any toppings for just $9.99 online. Get extra without paying extra for $9.99 at Domino's.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills.
My watch is broken.
You could tell time by measuring the sun's distance from the horizon. Looks like happy hour. Head for the mountains.
He's a belle, he's a boy, he's belt boy. Hotels bring him joy, he's belt boy. Desk clerk with the best perks. Like up to 20% off hundreds and thousands of hotels and a whole lot of other stuff I can't get into right now.
This melty white American cheese is the luckiest cheese alive. It gets to smother a quarter pound of
ability, the toughness defensively. He just was sensational in game 2, and a nice bounce back after a very difficult shooting performance in his opener.
Yeah, plays with a unique competitive edge. Great ball movement. Bub Carrington had a notion, one dribble pull-up, and a feathery shooter's touch.
That was nice because that was pace on that. He slowed down the tempo. He knew he had a size advantage to get that off because he could elevate over the top. Really good tempo on that pull-up.
17-2 run for the Wizards. And off the miss, a great outlet. Room service. It's Trey Day. Trey Johnson makes it a 10-point Wizards lead.
Nice outlet. That ball traveled about 50 feet in the air on a rope. Hit him dead in stride. Had nothing to do with it but bounce it and put it in.
Like another former Washington player, Wes Unseld, used to throw some of those back in the day. I know you know that, Tim.
One of the best of all time. This is a beautiful pass, a flick of the wrist from his chest. That ball probably traveled 45, 50 feet in the air. And Trey Johnson didn't have anything to do but just that one little rhythm dribble, and you see how high he can get.
Timmy out top on the DHO. And a pure-looking jump shot by Etienne.
He can really shoot it. He got a little taste with Brooklyn a year ago, 7 games in the bigs, and he showed then in limited minutes that he could put the ball in the basket.
Tyson Etienne out of Wichita State, undrafted 3 years ago. Averaged just under 8 points per game. As Keyshawn George goes to the free throw line, played for Jim Larinaga a season ago at the University of Miami. Knocks down, misses the first. Hey, Summer League action continues tomorrow on NBA TV, ESPN, and the ESPN app. NBA TV tomorrow has Atlanta, Houston at 4:30. Charlotte, Dallas at 6:30. Utah, San Antonio, followed by Clippers and Lakers. Dillman, a little bit better pace coming up court this time against Carrington. Here's Etienne. They run some split cut action. Danny Wolf with the ball. Working against Sarr. Shot clock down to 5. Dillman for deep. Wow. Used all the iron.
Tyrese Halliburton special.
Yes.
That thing went above the top of the backboard and dropped back through.
There's another deep 3. George missed everything. Washington still leading by 5. Dillman, 3 of 8 from the field. 7 of those shots have come from deep, and brings it up against Carrington again. Etienne back to Timmy. With what Brooklyn's running, they're 5 out. Alex Sarr's perimeter defensive skills being tested by both Wolf and Drew Timmy.
That was a nice combination right there. You saw the 2-man game with Wolf and Timmy, and that was a beautiful delivery by Wolf with his left hand into a really tight window. We had a perfect vantage point on whether the flight path of that ball. It did not look like there was a lot of room there when he let this go, because that's also a lot of length to get it over at Sarr. I mean, he led him perfectly to the rim.
Danny Wolf, an extremely talented big. Played 4 years at Yale before transferring to Michigan for his final season, and really had one of the most memorable evenings draft night when he and his brothers, his family, were just sobbing tears of joy upon hearing his name called by Brooklyn. TJ Bamba off the mark. Here's A.J. Johnson in transition. Keyshawn Johnson, and he turned it over. Gilman working against Sarr. Tough shot, missed everything.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. He never really got Sarr off balance at all. And yet now you've got 7-1 length.
Yeah.
You're trying to shoot over. And look, Washington, I like what they've done here the last 2 possessions. This is going to be and should be their identity. When you have a 7-1 center in Sarr who can play the 4-5, that can run the way he can, and all of these young athletes that can push the basketball, everything should be a track meet. Every single ball you pick up on a turnover a make or miss. There should be hard outlets and a thrust up the floor initially to get defenses back on their heels. That's the way I think this team is going to be at their best, particularly taking advantage of the length, athletic ability, and running ability of Alex Sarr.
There's some great raw tools there. Sarr with 12 points and 9 rebounds tonight. Back out to Trey Johnson. Nice little brush screen by Johnson, and Sarr threw it away. The younger brother of Olivier, drafted by OKC a few years ago. They're going to have a bunch of guys playing for their national teams coming up in Eurobasket. Sarr, one of them. Drew Timmy from deep. Tipped up. And here's A.J. Johnson. Trey Johnson slips out. Steps through. Man, he was in his bag like the fries were at the bottom. Trey Johnson.
Man, I mean, to be able to do that under control with that much ball pressure and a really tight window to split those two defenders and stay on balance. That's just that's like a professional bucket getter right there.
Wow.
He's so impressive, man. His ability and his instincts offensively as a scorer and where the opportunities are.
Alex Sarr inside over Wolf. Got the roll. Washington with a little bit of pace, Tim, as you underscored.
Exactly what I'm talking about, particularly for Sarr. He's going to have opportunities if he wants to get out ahead of the pack, where they can advance it to him, and he can get to the rim. But Timmy comes right back at him. Saw that Sarr was a little bit out of position, and he had good leverage.
A.J. Johnson leading the track meet to Carrington. Back to Sarr. Doesn't hesitate on the three. Do you like that kind of shot or not?
I don't mind it,
okay.
Especially in this setting. This is where you expand your game. Push yourself outside your comfort zone a little bit. I'm sure they're encouraging him to continue to add range to his game, so why not? If you're not going to do it here in Vegas, as a year 2 player, when will you?
And Timmy travels with it. But just 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Talked about Alex Sarr playing for France. Will Riley and Dijon George with a chance to play for Canada's national team. Drew Timmy with a nice bit of ball handling. Played peekaboo with it. And he's got 21.
Yeah, and that's just the kind of play that drives coaches crazy. If you're A.J. Johnson, that's just an absolutely careless pass. You're throwing the ball 30 feet across the court on a bounce pass. So the ball slowed up when it hit the floor, and it gave Timmy a chance to shoot that gap.
On the short roll, Sarr made a great pass to the corner 3. That's Leaky Black. And that's going to be a traveling violation. Brooklyn with a mindless turnover.
Yeah, Timmy thought one of the guards was coming back to get the ball, so he just sort of dropped it behind him, expecting somebody to come pick it up. And then he tried to recover his own change.
Can't do that. 12th turnover for Brooklyn. They committed 21 in their opener. Robbins coming into the ball game for Alex Sarr to play the 5. He couldn't hang on to the pass. Timmy hustling. And that'll be Brooklyn basketball.
Well, that looked like Timmy hit it last.
Sure
It was great hustle to make a play on that, but it certainly looked like Timmy's left hand knocked that out of bounds.
Well, he sold it pretty well. Here's the replay.
It's a good hustle to run this down after the ball was mishandled. I think that was Robbins hitting it off of Timmy's hand.
Traore out front. Got downhill. Oh, man, he pulled out the giant killer. Traore over the bigs.
Yeah, I like his game. He's got a nice touch on that right there. Incredibly difficult shot to get that high off the glass when you're going full speed and shoot it softly.
The change of pace was real impressive. Traore, pop clutch here, folks. I heard somebody say too late. Back after this.
A car that doesn't make everyone feel like a priority is a car that stops short of amazing. A at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Get offers on select models.
Where some saw a pickle, we saw a masterpiece. A Sonic Smasher with Grillo's pickles and Dilly Ranch, tangy pickle tots, and a Pickle Rita slush with pickle-flavored bubbles.
Two of 5 from beyond the arc, but Tim, he's got the mid-range game and a lot of sauce.
And you know what's so impressive about this, man? Like, you come out here, you got 4-minute warm-up right between these games.
Yeah.
This is, like we say, a fire drill over here. So he didn't have a lot of time to get a lot of looks up before this game. He came out immediately. He got cooking just because he always looks like he's in rhythm. What I'm most impressed about is he's done it on every single platform that you can. Dribble drive, finish to the rim athletically. He's finished in transition. He's done step back jumpers mid-range. He's catch and shoot threes. He's come off down screens. He could just flat out score.
Let me ask you this one, and we'll get a look at their depth chart in a minute, but what are the possibilities of him starting as their 2 guard this year?
I'll tell you what, you just heard them talking about the fact that we're not going to rush it, but I'm sorry, they won what, 18 games last year.
Hey, being ready.
They were 18 and 64, all right, and look, it's a plan in place here for them. But when you have a guy that can score that naturally, you're not going to be able to keep him off the floor. So I don't know if that's the plan initially, right, Jonesy. He's just one of those guys that's going to grow on them pretty quickly in terms of the fact he can handle it now. Now the question is, who do you put out there with him? You're going to have C.J. McCollum there. He mentioned that, and you're also going to have, of course, Marcus Smart is now in the mix.
Couple of good vets.
And then Bub Carrington is there as well. So you got a couple of vets, you got a couple of young guys, but right now you've got a guy in Trey Johnson that I think the ball needs to be in his hands as much as possible in a learning curve year.
Nice block inside, but a foul is going to be called. Talking about the Washington Wizards and where everybody fits. Let's take a look right here. Chris Middleton at the 3. Bilal Coulibaly. Alex Sarr, a couple of Frenchmen on the front line. And tell you what, got Johnson slotted right behind Bub there, but it's a nice issue to have, right?
Look, Trey Johnson can get his off the dribble. I think I would love to see him, though, here early in his career, not have to work as hard by advancing the ball as much when he's on the floor. I'd like other people to handle the ball with a guy like this and let him catch the ball off of some sort of initial action where he can catch it in an advantageous position without having to work so hard off the dribble.
Watkins from deep, off the mark. George with the rebound. Got it off glass. Deshaun George, the 24th pick last year. He's got 8. Traore fouled by Leaky Black.
You look at some of the game action that these guys got a year ago that we're looking at here right now. Alex Sarr played 67 games. Bub Carrington played all 82 games. Deshaun George, 68 games. You don't see a rookie class come into this league, 3 guys north of 67 games.
That's a lot of burn for rookies, right?
And there is no substitute
for
playing time. We all know that. You got to learn through your mistakes. every franchise is in a different situation with their rookies. Those were guys that, based on where Washington was a year ago and their expectations, you had to kind of throw them to the fire, and they all acquitted themselves very, very well, and you saw great growth throughout the season.
And Coach Brian Keefe has another training camp to continue to establish the type of culture that Will Dawkins, the GM, described to us a moment ago. A.J. Johnson out front. Deshaun George rims out on the 3. Nelson with the board. Brooklyn down by 6. Got a whistle and a issue here with 1:34 to go in the third quarter. It'll be sideline out of bounds. Traore to trigger for Brooklyn. And that's going to be an offensive foul.
It's always a point of emphasis on those screens, you know.
With all the DHO action that we see now, you see a proclivity of offensive fouls like that.
No doubt about it. And it's, you know, the intent is good. You're trying to just give your guy a little bit of an advantage if you can clip that defender just a little bit. But so often you see those DHOs turning into offensive fouls, which are turnovers.
And speaking of turnovers, the Wizards give it away, leading by 6 still with 1:18 to go. That's the 13th of the game for Washington.
And J.J. Outlaw not happy because we have seen some real unforced and careless turnovers out of Washington in this quarter.
Daniels from deep, laces that 3, and Brooklyn drawing a little bit closer.
Caleb Daniels there. I can't help but think 28 in a Brooklyn uniform. Is that not like Spencer Dinwiddie a little bit out there?
The result was.
Absolutely.
And Drew Timme with great anticipation, but a foul called.
And we got a whole quarter to play, Jonesy, and already Drew Timme, through 2 games, is going to be one of the leading scorers here in Vegas. 22 points in his first game. He's already sitting at 21 in a close game with a whole quarter to play.
It was 10 of 13 in game 1 and 9 boards as well. And that opening loss for Brooklyn.
And last year he got a taste also with Brooklyn. 9 games. Drew Timme, 12.7 rebounds a game. It's good numbers in only a 9-game span. And then he just tore up the G League. 20 points, 9 boards a night in the G League.
Hey, our next WNBA game is this Tuesday on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Caitlin Clark and the Fever are in Connecticut, taking on Marina Mabrey and the Sun. Coverage tips with a WNBA countdown at 7:30. The Fever getting a win today at home. They run Zoom 5 again. Traore gets it back from Timme, flips the screen. Great pocket pass. And a nice follow tip in good by Caleb Daniels.
Yeah, Daniels that time saw Timme rolling hard down the lane. And once his defender ran to the edge of the lane, he had a dead sprint from the corner and an open run at that tip.
And we're going to have a foul now against Washington.
Nice little spurt here for Daniels. He hits the 3, and then he gets this tip. You see him there on the short baseline. He's got a free run at it because Timme had 3 different defenders fly to him in the paint. And then Daniels follows that up by fighting over a screen, drawing an offensive foul. So a really nice stretch here over the last minute or so for Caleb Daniels.
Since his draft year, 2023, played in Belgium and in Sioux Falls in the G League. Traore pop clutch. Got it to the wing. Sharaf being hounded. George all over him. And they turn him over. On the break. And the lay-in by Leaky Black.
And of the 3 young guards here for Brooklyn, Sharaf has had the hardest time handling the ball pressure of Washington. Joman, Traore have handled it much better.
George has it rattle halfway down and out. And that's the end of the third quarter. Nolan Traore having a nice night for Brooklyn.
Boy, that is sweet right there. Going up over the top of the square to get it to go. And then Trey Johnson been doing his thing now, 2 straight games. Washington up 5.
I'm the voice inside your head. And while you're typically athletic, right now, you're pathetic. Rick, and once you start listening to me, it's gonna be hard to stop. Shank. And if you don't have the right auto coverage, the cost of this could hit you out of nowhere. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me.
Force Factor Creatine Gummies build
$5 duo at BK. Step up to the plate and have it your way. Get 2 of your faves, it's up to
attacking with my man or somebody helps, they're getting me an assist.
Brooklyn's been able to cut into your all's lead in part because of your all's turnovers. What can you guys do to clean that up here in the fourth?
I feel like we just got to get back on defense, but it's hard to get back on defense when it's not a shot attempt. So I feel like we can at least put a shot attempt on the rim to help us get back.
Appreciate it, Trey. Thanks.
Thank you.
Stellar numbers again for him tonight as Traore brings it across. Off the step-up screen by Nelson. Sharaf now. 7 on the shot clock. Got to get to work. Close out a little bit late. The 3 off the mark. Nelson fouled on the putback. And he'll get a couple of shots. Leaky Black committing the foul.
And that actually was a more contested shot on that 3 than it needed to be. Sharaf put a little bit too much air under that ball. Like, he's got good size. Got to get a little stronger because he picked that ball up, and it's got to be delivered on a rope to that shooter on the right wing, and that's an uncontested shot. In this league, you know, every nanosecond counts, and when you receive the ball as a shooter, so Sharaf's got to get that over there on a more direct line. He floated it a little bit. As a result, Traore's shot was contested.
There's a look at the particulars on Grant Nelson. 23-year-old out of Alabama. He's got 4 points in the game. A.J. Johnson off the pistol action. Touches paint. George had it knocked away. Got it back and found Johnson right where it all started.
Yeah, A.J. Johnson has easy ups, man. He didn't really even have a chance to gather himself at all. It was a short distance on that run, and he exploded off the ground.
Sharaf back out to Wolf. Traore lost his balance, a little bit out of control. Made a delivery from his backside to Sharaf for the and one.
That one's just unfortunate. I mean, that's just a broken play. Washington thinking they're getting out here and running, but if you don't come up with that steal cleanly, bad things are going to happen in your backcourt.
So Sharaf going to the free throw line. Brooklyn down by 5. Both these teams looking for their first win of Summer League. Here's Riley. Riley from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Okay, I'm going to give you a little geographical quiz.
All right, here we go.
And you're the best. I mean, I have a hard time stumping Tim Legler, folks, when it comes to NBA. But who else in the NBA is from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada? Let me give you a clue.
All right, no idea. Who?
NBA champ 2 years ago.
For the Boston Celtics? Somebody for the Celtics.
Denver. I'm sorry. Denver.
Well, if you count OKC,
OKC.
Boston, Denver.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah.
The Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
Who?
Jamal Murray.
Oh, that's right.
Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
I beat you on an easy one.
You really did.
Riley going to be
man,
one of those guys.
It's our 4th day.
I know.
And we are in Las Vegas, don't forget.
Well, you were on a roll after all the hitting all those challenges and getting those right. Drop, turn the corner, elevate, tried to punch it, and got it packed.
That was nice recovery.
And the 3 is good. Etienne, he's got 12. And it's a 3-point game, 8 minutes to go. Johnson got a mismatch in Wolf. And that's going to be a foul called. Johnson may have traveled, or might have been a step that one of those deceleration moves. And Brooklyn's going to call timeout. With A.J. Johnson going to the free throw line. Back to Las Vegas after this.
NBA 2K26 Summer League is proudly sponsored by NBA 2K26. Rated E for everyone.
Your cheeseburger deserves a nice big slice of our Sargento family legacy. You can taste over 70 years of our family commitment to high quality, real, natural cheese in every bite. You have our word on it, you have our name on it.
Sargento.
A promise you can taste.
What you want to do is save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
That's great, but can you ask your friend to stop digging into the green?
I can ask, but he's not going to. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
In a Jurassic world, every Jeep vehicle is Jurassic rated.
How would you describe your first season under head coach Jordi Fernandez? What was that like?
It was a lot of learning. Learning his system, learning about myself, learning my new teammates. So it was a lot of learning. I'm excited to have that year under my belt, though.
What do you feel like you learned about yourself?
Just being able to play through a little bit of being uncomfortable in some adversity and just trying to stay positive through everything.
You mentioned Fernandez's system. He obviously likes to play fast. What do you like about the system he's implemented in Brooklyn?
It's free-flowing. It's kind of a European type of feel. We play a lot through the big, so I'm having the ball in my hands a lot, so I definitely like that.
You're definitely going to like that. Now, you guys, unfortunately, you say goodbye to Cam Johnson, but in turn, you get Michael Porter Jr., a proven shooter. What excites you about playing alongside Michael?
We're in the same class, so I'm already familiar with his game. He gonna put him up and put him in. Like he's a bucket. So it's always good playing with dudes like that.
How helpful do you think that his veteran experience and championship pedigree will be, considering you guys have so many young guys on your roster?
It's gonna be extremely important for the group. Like you said, five new rookies and fresh faces, so we're going to have to really help the younger guys on the team.
Has any of the rookies stood out to you today?
I mean, all of them. Yegor, he's looked really good, looked more comfortable today. Nolan, Ben, they've all looked really good.
And what do you think of Drew Timmy's game?
He getting to it. He found his flow. You know, he already has some experience, and you can see it out there on the court. He looks really comfortable.
I know that you guys obviously have a goal to get back into the playoffs. Why do you think that this group is capable of doing so next season?
I mean, we got a lot of young, hungry dudes, and you know, with the East being the way it is this year, you know, anything is possible.
We appreciate the time, Nick. Thank you so much, and best of luck this upcoming season.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Mark?
Well, everybody talks about the opportunity and acknowledges the opportunity in the Eastern Conference next year, Tim.
I wanted to ask you, because you have a lot of experience watching him, Jordy Fernandez, right, who's on Mike Brown's staff in Sacramento. How do you think he's going to be for these young guys and all this young talent that they've just
I think it's a great question, Tim. As that three falls again by Etienne, it's a perfect marriage and fit. Jordy Fernandez first got into the NBA as a player development coach with a very young man named Elijah Brown, which was Mike Brown's son. That's how he got the job initially when Mike was in Cleveland. So, you know, he's got a perfect disposition and temperament for young players and learning, and that doesn't negate the fact that he's extremely competitive too, and he'll expect a lot out of this Brooklyn team this year.
Well, I know Mike was very sorry to see him go. Obviously, you wish your guys well. That's the whole point, right? To have a staff, you want all of those guys to be able to spread their wings and take opportunities.
Yeah.
And I know how much he valued him, so hopefully Jordy Fernandez has great success in Brooklyn. Again, very, very young team, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out and how much these young guys are asked to do early in the year, particularly.
Yeah, you heard Claxton refer to the type of offense that Fernandez likes to run. 5-out type stuff, a lot of dribble handoffs, and you know, in Sacramento he had Sabonis as the hub for a lot of times. And maybe that's the type of role that a Danny Wolf might be able to fill at some point. Off the staggered screen, Sharaf inside for Wolf. Had it batted away by Sarr. Out of bounds. It'll stay at that end with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, and it's always interesting to watch young players getting their first taste of like a different level of athlete right here, particularly for foreign-born players, and the athleticism and the speed and the quickness, because that's a pass right there that Sharaf, I guarantee, has thrown 100 times. And it gets through for layups and dunks, and that time it was Alex Sarr back there. You're trying to throw it over, and it's just a different look.
Yeah. When he's playing against Maccabi Tel Aviv, that's an easy delivery. Not so much in the NBA. That's going to be a foul inside against the Wizards. That's going to be against Jameer Watkins. 1-point ball game. Igor Jomin, pardon me. Jomin coming into the ball game. Don't want to have mom and dad watching back.
No, Russian right, for sure. Oh, wow. Came off that quick.
Etienne off the mark. And great hustle. Savvy move there by Watkins to knock out of bounds off of Drew Timme.
A couple of big-time hustle plays for Watkins. He's the guy that caught Sharaf from behind when Sharaf attempted that dunk several minutes ago, and there he makes a really nice play, running down that long rebound and throwing it off Timme to give the Wizards a possession up one here.
Little elbow action by the Wizards. Sarr rolls out. Lost his balance. Carrington lobs it up for Sarr, and poor delivery. They're looking for a foul underneath on a push.
I tell you what, if I were in Washington, one of the things I'd be doing with Alex Sarr every day, he has to get much better on his footwork on these rolls, because he's such a great target. He's athletic. He gets down the lane quickly after screening, but he doesn't really look like he's got a great idea what he's going to do with the ball once he goes down there, and his feet have now been tangled up several times. That's just got to be repetition after repetition, because he's going to get the basketball here a lot. because of his size and his target, but he doesn't finish enough of those plays or even make, you know, a good pass out of that. He can really do damage in there if he figures out how to play under control on those situations and what he's looking for.
And Tim, further to your point, we've worked together a lot, and you've talked about guys getting out of their role quickly. What should it look like, ideally, footwork-wise?
Well, I think for me, the first thing he has to understand is you don't need to always just continue moving toward the rim. Sometimes if there's a backline defender under the basket, it's fine to catch it, jump stop, turn, face. Okay. And now you can see the floor and see what's in front of you. Everything can slow down. It's the hardest thing for a young player to learn is to be comfortable playing slow in traffic. He's in such a rush to try to make something happen out of it. And again, it's well-intentioned. But to me, that's just repetition. It's just got to be over and over and over, drilling him on those types of catches so that he can stay on balance and then get something soft up toward the rim with that 7-foot length, or make the appropriate pass on a kick out to the corner.
There have been 1 or 2 times tonight where he's made that nice pass, sprayed it out on the short roll.
Absolutely. So it's not like he's completely incapable. And that's my point. It's there. And if I didn't think he was capable, I wouldn't even be talking about it. It's because you've seen glimpses of it. Now the consistency has to be there, because he's got to understand that is an area of the floor he's going to catch the basketball a lot, because he is their main high ball screener.
See what they run offensively this time. Carrington brings it across against Jumpman. Same elbow action, same roll out of the pick. What'd you make of that distribution?
It was better because he was on balance, but, you know, that was an easy one for him because that shooter was right in front of him. Okay. His shoulders were facing him when he caught the basketball, so he made the right read, but it was an easier read.
Drew Timme with a nice left hand. And Brooklyn now up by 1. Timme with 23. On the show and go, George ran into rush hour traffic and got tied up. That'll be a jump ball. Brooklyn leading by 1.
George has had a very nice all-around game today. 8 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. So he's done a little bit of everything. Got himself into tough situation there. Took that dribble too deep with 3 guys around him.
And it looks like we've got a shot clock issue. I heard officials say that they were going to run it down a little bit to 9, which is where they put it. Matt Raftery, Christine Evans, and Egon Abazi are officials tonight. Here's Riley from deep. Made it look easy.
But that's nice. That's nice. He, coming off that on a dead sprint toward the ball, and he really got that right hip around and got his shoulders square on that. This is nice. I used to love this action on sideline out of bounds, where you're coming from the weak side of the floor off one screen toward the ball. And if you trail over the top or go under, it's a different read with your footwork.
Okay, Kitchener, Ontario, right? I taught you that part.
Did.
About an hour and a half southwest of Toronto. Popular during Oktoberfest activities. Wow, man. You can celebrate that 3 too, Etienne. He's got 15. Whistle, count it. And 1. Riley. Yeah, raise a glass to that. From Kitchener, Ontario, Canada.
Etienne has really impressed me. 6'2". He comes off these screens really tight, but a nice job right here. Right back at him. Didn't give Brooklyn a chance to set after that shot by Etienne. I think Brooklyn relaxed a little bit, and Washington is what we talked about. This is how you got to play make or miss. The ball should be outletted. If there's no pressure in the backcourt, you should be catching that outlet beyond your three-point line in the backcourt, so you're one dribble over half court and attacking.
Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year. Makes it an 86-84 game for the Wizards. Timme. Wow, a quick chuck jack by Etienne. That felt like a heat check.
I was just praising him for all, coming off these screens with that quick footwork and release. And you're right, that was definitely a heat check. And if it was, his heat just got checked.
Yeah.
So now he's got to think of plan B.
Sarr had it knocked away by Wolf. Traore in transition. Jumpman steps through, left it on the rim. Coming back the other way, Riley with the hezzy and the lob. Sarr, très bien, as they say in French. 16 for him.
Look, I know this is just Vegas Summer League. These aren't, full NBA rosters. I get it. Doesn't matter. The style of play is conducive right now for Washington the way they're playing. That ball came off the rim on a missed layup, and Alex Sarr was the first guy running the floor. Reward him for that and take advantage of his skills.
Boy, Trey Johnson did a nice job navigating the screen defensively a moment ago. Offensively, losing the handle there, and that's going to be a foul against Bub Carrington. Check that. Yeah, it's against Bub. .345 to go in the fourth quarter. Both these teams looking for their first wins of Summer League in the second game here tonight. Traore directing traffic. They zoom action. Timmy got it.
Well, to me, if you're going to go under, and Alex Sarr was communicating that the entire time to Trey Johnson, if you go under, you can't be late going under where that guard could still turn the corner, because that's what created Sarr to drag to the rim, and Timmy got the trail play. And here, Wolf picking up the defense, getting 2 easy ones.
And Brooklyn knots it at 88. We got a great finish coming up here. Trey Johnson equal to the moment. Man, he has made every bucket seem very easy. Look effortless tonight. He's got 16.
3 minutes to go in a tie game. I would expect Trey Johnson to have this basketball a lot to close this game.
Alex Sarr hit Control, Alt, Delete all at the same time with a hard reset here.
Man, this is Alex Sarr covering some ground, protecting that rim and keeping this game tied up. 6th block of the game.
Giving you that youthful, pardon me, AAU feel there, huh?
No doubt about it, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love
Channing
it.
defense. You don't see that.
Handing out orange slices at halftime.
Out of the timeout, Timmy, count it, and 1. Great ATO called by Brooklyn there.
Yeah, it's just a great job. The deep flash, and He's strong. He's going to play through that every time. He's going to catch just about anything you throw to him on the ground in traffic. That was a well-designed play. Got the ball not only to the guy they want, but in exactly the area of the floor they were hoping.
Yeah, Steve Hetzel drawing one up with the aid of Dutch Gately, one of his assistants on the bench there. And Davies Dulkis, a couple of guys that were with Jordi Fernandez in Sacramento. Here's Sarr. 1 point lead for the Nets. Bob Carrington, they blitz him out front a little overzealously. And Johnson fouled.
Yeah, well, you could see Brooklyn was anticipating that Trey Johnson was going to get that ball in a ball screen action because that was a hard, aggressive blitz trying to get him to pick it up. This is Drew Timme coming all the way out. That's a lot more than a hedge.
Underneath, no whistle. Sharaf got the block and the possession. Oh, he got peeled clean. George took his cornbread. Carrington. Trey Johnson. Corner ISO, couple jabs. Tween. Spins. Wow. Today must be Trey Day because he put the eye in ISO.
Tell you what, he was determined. And this is really good defense. Royari cuts him off on the baseline, cuts him off once again here going middle. That's pretty good defense, man. That's straight up and down. He did lean a little bit with his chest area up underneath Trey Johnson. Didn't give him quite enough landing room, but I don't know that you can defend that much better. His arms were completely vertical, which is what you want at the end of that.
Trey Johnson went in workout mode. 2:05 to go. Coach Hetzel making the call, relaying that to his point guard, Traore. Washington up by 1.
You got some young guards out here right now trying to settle this. You're going to have Trey Johnson with the ball a lot for Washington, Traore, and Joman for Brooklyn.
Sharaf with some go screen action for Traore. Steps back. Timme. Etienne back to Timme. Spin. Pull. Sarr. Send it back. And we got a whistle and a foul underneath. And it looks like they're going to call a block on Etienne. Meanwhile, at the other end, Alex Sarr with his 7th block. Wow.
I mean, that was a sensational offensive move by Drew Timme that just was answered by a better defensive play. Alex Sarr timing that perfectly. Cuts him off on the spin and then has the athletic ability and quickness to then react to that finger roll. Wow. That is special right there.
They get it into George. Keyshawn George with the turnaround. Got it. And Washington leading by 3. Still a 1 possession game.
That was a tough shot, man. Spinning that direction to the baseline for right-handed players, not easy.
Traore. Timme left it on the front rim. Rebounded by Trey Johnson. And Trey Johnson with the green light draws the foul. It looks like that's going to...
It looked a little bit to me like Drew Timme short-armed that a little bit because of the last play. Alex Sarr standing right in front of him when he shot that little push shot. Second ago, he did not have full extension. Like, I'm not sure he had total faith with what Alex Sarr just did on that previous layup attempt, and that's why Timme left that on the short rim.
Johnson missing the first, still a 1 possession game, plenty of time. And coming up next on ESPN2 at the conclusion of this game, it's the Golden State Warriors taking on the Utah Jazz. Get a look at Cody Johnson, last year's top pick by the Jazz amongst others. 4-point lead for the Wizards. Trey Johnson moving his feet well against Traore, who breaks the pressure out to Sharaf. Johnson stays with them. Sarr switches on to Sharaf. Joman got the 3. Igor Joman. And it's a 1-point contest.
That was great presence of mind by Sharaf. He looked like he was headed to a place on the floor. He was going to get swallowed up by Sarr, but he was able to wrap that ball around to his strong hand by his left hand to make that pass to Joman.
John George. 6 on the shot clock. Out to the wing, Carrington, a contested 3, it's good. No problem. B-U-B Bub on the J-O-B.
That's a big-time answer.
And a big-time block. Second one, a goaltend. They'll count it. And it's back to a 2-point game.
What's that, 8 blocks now?
Yes.
For Saar? The 9th one didn't count because it's going to be a goaltend. But I love the activity level that Alex Saar is playing with defensively today. That is just so well timed and out of position, because of the block when Timmy picks that ball up, so he couldn't react in time to avoid the goaltend.
Gotta believe Trey Johnson gets a touch, rips through and blows by Joman to draw the foul. And he'll go to the free throw line. Missed 1 of 2 last time. Trey Johnson with 19 points, 3 rebounds, and a dime. And a chance to help seal this game away potentially for the Wizards, who are looking for their first win of Summer League. It's nothing but net on the first. Johnson shot 87% from the foul line at Texas last season. The best shooter in this year's draft just made it 100 to 96.
Brooklyn 1 timeout left. They elect not to use it here because they still are in a 2-possession game.
Good defense by Carrington. Timmy back to Traore. Wonderful contest by Saar. And the Wizards on the cusp of putting this one away. Outlaw calls timeout. But they got a key stop there at the end. Alex Saar with 8 blocks today.
I told myself I was okay with my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis symptoms.
With my psoriatic arthritis.
Was a difference maker. And I think, look, we talked a lot about Trey Johnson offensively. He's key today in his ability to control the ball and just have an answer for Brooklyn's pressure. But Alex Saar has been the difference between the two teams.
All this and Trey Johnson with his stat line. 21 points, playing with a little bit of a sore groin. Riley fouled. Riley himself had a pretty good night, knocking down a couple of threes, actually 3 of them. Total of 14 points. He'll go to the free throw line. And my partner learned all about Kitchener, Ontario, Canada tonight as a result of Riley.
I'll never forget that again. You put me down on Jeopardy again, I'm going to get it. Canadian Jeopardy. I'm going to brush up.
Be ready tomorrow.
That's it.
Riley knocks down the first. You know who else is famous from Kitchener? Different sport. But back in the day, a heck of a high school basketball player. Lennox Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Heavyweight champ back in the day. My older brother Paul Jones coached him in a Ontario high school all-star basketball game. Trey's not had a couple knockout punches tonight himself, though. Back after this.
Oh, look, I'm bottomless. Just like bottomless apps for $9.99 at Buffalo Wild Wings. That's right, you can get bottomless.
Tim Lenkler and Katie George, the Washington Wizards, 2.6 seconds away from getting their first win of Summer League. Each team gets to play minimum of 5 games, a total of almost 80 games with all 30 teams being represented here. A fantastic time of the NBA calendar right now. And Alex Sarr has put up a good stat line tonight. 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 blocks. He has been a monument to two-way impact.
I think both of these organizations have to be happy with what they've seen out of these first-round picks this year. Joman shows you he can handle the basketball, shoot it. Will Riley had a nice night. Trey Johnson as well.